This was the white-bearded Christian saint whose generous gifts to the poor inspired the Santa Claus legend. As Daniela Cotto discovered, service to the poor has also been the mission of a beloved Milwaukee priest who is passing the chalice on to a new leader of a historic church on Milwaukee's north side.
Every religious community has its own particular contribution or charism, if you will, to the Catholic Church. We Capuchins try to sponsor service to the poor.
Father Michael Bertram is a member of the Capuchin Franciscans. For 19 years, he's been a leader at St. Francis of Assisi in Milwaukee, helping people in need, feeding those who are hungry, and preaching the word of God.
I am old enough that when I was going through grade school, it was the desire of every boy to become a priest. The pastor would come into the classroom, who wants to become a priest, and everybody's hand went up.
Father Mike, as he's known to most in the community, says the motivation for his vocation came from two close mentors at an early age.
One was a priest who was pastor of the parish that I was at, who sadly suffered more than one nervous breakdown. He was a broken man. But even in that, I could see how he really loved helping people.
And the other, his cousin, who was once a Capuchin Franciscan priest.
It was right in that age of like the late 60s and early 70s when everything was in turmoil, both in society and in the church. And he really was a very active individual in social justice.
Though he felt his calling, he says rejection allowed him the opportunity to grow in ways he didn't know he needed.
At the age of 20, and again at the age of 23, I applied to become a Capuchin, and I was turned down both times.
Suffering from low self-esteem, the Capuchins told him it wasn't his time to join the order just yet.
After the second time, I thought, you know, this is it, I'm out of here. And so I took a teaching job.
For more than 3 years, he taught 7th and 8th grade at a small Catholic school.
I applied to enter the order for the third time, and that's when I was accepted. And they said, you've changed.
He took his first vows of priesthood at the age of 28 and was ordained at 35. And right around when most fear a midlife crisis, at the age of 51, Father Mike traveled to Costa Rica, where he immersed himself in a program to learn Spanish.
Señor, que al traer nuestros dones.
6 weeks, 6 hours of one-on-one every day, and then living with a local family as well. I knew that I had to know Spanish because there's a Latino population here, and there's one Sunday Mass in Spanish.
Let us take a moment in silence. Un momento en silencio.
At the time, it was, you know, the African-American community, the Hispanic community. It's like, you know, all these that were served by different priests in different ways. He came in and he decided to learn Spanish and made the effort to unite.
Over the years, Father Mike has actively spoken out in support of the LGBTQ+ community in Milwaukee.
Well, when you talk about the Catholic Church in general, that's a little dicey issue. But if we really are true to what our faith says and the message of Jesus, all are welcome and all are children of God.
He's just amazing, and that's why he's so loved.
When Father Javier Rodriguez moved from Puerto Rico, Father Mike became his spiritual director, prepping him for this very moment.
Once he was here, first as a deacon and then newly ordained as a priest, it became very obvious to me and others, this is the man for the future.
That's right. Father Mike is stepping down as the main provincial minister.
It's a big job. However, I feel comfortable and joyful to be here.
The former journalist and lawyer was ordained as a priest this past summer and was voted on by the chapter to take over Father Mike's role, becoming the first non-white and non-German individual to do so in its church's history.
I am humbled by your presence. I am humbled by your turnout.
My only wish, maybe it's not a regret, my only wish is it's been such a good life, I'd love to go back and live it all over again.
But let's be clear, Father Mike is not going anywhere.
I'm retiring from priestly ministry in a parish, but I'll still have that priestly ministry as Director of Capuchin Community Services in Milwaukee.
We asked Father Mike what legacy he hoped to leave behind.
It's service to the poor, it's service to the outcast, it's service to the fringe populations within our society that other people will just brush aside. If there's anything that's lasting after me, it would be that.
We're afraid